NBC Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
Don Meredith died last Sunday. He was an original Dallas Cowboy, a franchise that began play in 1960, and he was its first big star. He quarterbacked the Cowboys for 9 seasons, led them to 2 championship game appearances, and then at age 30, coming off 3 straight Pro Bowl selections, he retired. 2 years later, he would return, not to the field, but to the broadcast booth, joining a new primetime experiment called Monday Night Football, where he'd become an even bigger star.
Turn out the lights, the party's over. They say that all good things must end. Call it a night, a party.
The Dallas Cowboys now invite you to join us in a moment of silence for number 17, quarterback Don Meredith. Thank you.
Two words come to mind when I think of Don Meredith. Great fun.
Oh, my gosh. You know, I mean, there are just special memories from your childhood. And that Monday Night Football crew and the way that we all fell in love with the game watching it and watching Meredith, and the only time that any of us would ever go to bed, no matter what mom or dad said, was when we heard that song.
Iconic. Quarterbacks to retire after 3 straight Pro Bowls. Take a look at that list. John Elway, not only 3 straight Pro Bowls, but the 2 Super Bowls. You saw Roger Staubach, who's here tonight, the great Norm Van Brocklin, the Eagle, and Dandy Don. And it's hard to believe that he joined that Monday night booth at 32 years of age. Started there, went to NBC and worked with Kurt Gowdy for a while, and then back to ABC, and then in repose in New Mexico for a lot of years. He will really be missed. David Beeler will kick off. Philadelphia won the toss. They've elected to receive. Jura Calvin, a rookie, will run it back. A rookie from Troy, same school that produced DeMarcus Ware. So Michael Vick will go right to work, barring a fumble. And away we go from Arlington, Texas. Calvin from the 1-yard line. Straight up the middle. And Philadelphia will set up shop at the 27-yard line. Let's take a look at the Philadelphia starters.
Michael Vick, Virginia Tech.
LaShawn McCoy, Pitt Panthers.
Owen Schmidt, West Virginia.
Deshaun Jackson, California. Jeremy Macklin, Mizzou Tigers.
Brent Selleck, Cincinnati.
Jason Peters, Arkansas.
Todd Herman, Saginaw Valley.
Mike McGlynn, Pitt.
Max Gene Gillis, Georgia.
King Dunlap, Auburn.
King Dunlap in place of the injured Winston Justice, out with a knee injury. This offense is #1 in the league, meaning they've gained the most yardage. They are #2 to New England in scoring. And Vick will start with play action and a roll to the left and a ton of time, and he'll go deep for Jackson, and he makes the catch at the 20 and gets tackled at the 12. Shades of what they did against the Washington Redskins. The first play of the game, an 88-yard touchdown. Michael Vick going right to work on the cornerback Terrence Newman for the big game.
Well, you're going to see Mike Vick on the rollout here, and what they did is they basically did a sort of delay route with Deshaun Jackson. You saw Jeremy Macklin run down the center of the field. Everybody went with him, and then Deshaun Jackson just took off against Terrence Newman, and they talked about it yesterday. They were going to attack Terrence Newman, and they got him on the first play.
Opening salvo is 60 yards. Vick out of the gun. Protected well in the pocket, and then that pass is incomplete. Tried to get right back to Jackson. Newman covering. Philadelphia coming out hot again tonight. The first offensive player of the game against Indianapolis was a 62-yard run by McCoy. Then the Monday nighter in Washington. Then Jackson a 30-yarder in their last game against Houston a week ago Thursday. And Marty Morningwig, the offensive coordinator, loves to go deep. on the opening play. And Philadelphia has been very successful on their first drives this season. Here's McCoy, but he's going to get stuffed after taking the inside handoff. Orlando Scandrick comes up from the secondary to make the tackle, and that'll make it 3rd down and 13.
Well, they do so many things on the offensive side, and Jason Garrett fully understands that in order to stop Mike Vick, somehow you got to try and limit what he does. They are going to send some pressure tonight. They're going to try and keep him in that backfield, make him a pocket passer.
And now with a 5-receiver set against the dime defense, Dallas almost jumps. No flag. Vick is able to escape, hopping away, surveying, throwing, caught, and just a little short of the first down is Chad Hall. Chad Hall about a half-yard shy of the first. It'll be 4th down and inches. Keith Brooking making the tackle.
Well, one thing that we've learned over the years, you cannot do this. Marcus Ware is going to go back inside here and open up the door on the left side of Mike Vick. Now you get the run pass option going on the outside, and they're really, you look at the numbers, teams don't stop him when he gets a chance to scramble left.
And with this offense, you have the #1 offense in the league. 4th down and inches, you're going for it. McCoy is the running back. They give it to him. And McCoy over right guard picks up the 1st down. 1st down and goal for Philadelphia.
Well, really good job by the center, Mike McGlynn here. It was Nick Cole last year that really had a pretty tough time. But watch the center, watch the double team here with Max Gene Gillis. Get the movement. Anytime you get the double team with movement, you're going to pick up that 1st down. Good hard running there by McCoy as well. Got low.
From the 1-yard line, Vick out of the gun. Now Selleck sets up for protection in the backfield. They send him into the pattern, and Vick follows him into the end zone. Slam dunk.
It's just so difficult when you go into these spread formations and then they bring the tight end Brent Selleck back inside to get the lone remaining linebacker inside. That was Brady James, and talking about an impressive first drive. We talked about how explosive this offense was. Goodness gracious.
Akers for the extra point. Well, Jerry Jones not the only opposing owner who's watched the Philadelphia Eagles go down the field and go down the field in a hurry. Started off with that 60-yard bomb to Jackson. Well, the Eagles just put up a quick 7. Number 7 scoring it himself, and that is the 7th opening drive touchdown in 13 games for the Eagles this season. So they come out hot, and now the Cowboys will get the ball with Akers to kick it away. And it's taken up at the 9-yard line by Cris Gronkowski, one of 3 Gronkowski brothers playing in the NFL at the moment. Kitna coming out onto the field, and back we go to the touchdown.
Jackson's going to come up here and hook. Meanwhile, you're going to have a post and Mike Vick going away. So it looks like it's going to be a throw to the post because the bootleg is going so far away. Jackson just kind of sits there right here, and then he just simply is too fast for Terrence Newman. Newman has a 5-yard head start on him, and he ends up losing by 5 yards.
And that was the opening play of the drive, and then Vick, of course, following Selleck through the middle for the touchdown. So now John Kitna starting from the 23-yard line with that short 3-step drop. And it's about a 3-yard gain. Martellus Bennett making the catch. Here are the Cowboys starters.
John Kitna, Central Washington.
Felix Jones, Arkansas.
Cris Gronkowski, Arizona Wildcats.
Miles Austin, Garfield High School.
Roy Williams, Texas.
Jason Witten, Tennessee.
Doug Free, Northern Illinois.
Kyle Kozar, Arizona State.
Andre Gerard, Colorado.
Leonard Davis, Texas.
Mark Colombo, Boston College.
That offensive line, which was a big problem earlier in the season, has gotten healthier and better. And you saw the Eagles jump, and now you've got Felix Jones, who gets taken out of bounds at the 40-yard line. And the Cowboys signaling as Terry McCauley comes over to make the call that it was offside.
Offside. Defense number 58. Penalties decline. First down.
Trent Cole came across the line. So Jon Kitna takes over for Tony Romo. He hadn't taken a snap in 2 seasons. Started his career at Seattle, then he went to Cincinnati. Remember, Carson Palmer backed him up in his rookie season. Then he went to Detroit, and now he's in his 15th season. Told us the other day out of Central Washington, he said, I was just hoping to get 1 year in the league. Now I've got 15 and counting. First down, a little swing pass for Jones, and Jones gets taken down from behind by Darryl Tapp. Let's take a look at the Philly defensive starters.
Quay Parker, Oklahoma State.
Mike Patterson, D, Southern California.
Antonio Dixon, the U.
Trent Cole, Cincinnati.
Moses Foku, Maryland.
Stu Bradley, Nebraska.
Ernest Sams, Florida State.
Celio Hansen, Texas Tech.
Quentin Michael, Boise State.
Nate Allen, South Florida.
Dimitri Patterson, Tuskegee University.
Key absence, Asante Samuel, missing another game. It's the 4th game he's missed this season, 3rd in a row. Despite missing all that time, he still leads the league in interceptions with 7. Now they run a draw with Jones, and the Eagles swarm him at the line of scrimmage.
You know, it was so interesting talking with Jon Kitna, and he was saying people, because they've won 3 of their last 4 games with him at the quarterback position there, and people kept coming up and saying congratulations. And he said, I was hearing it so much, I kept thinking, expectations must have been really low for me. Everybody thinks that this is so great, but he has been very, very good of late.
So those numbers, he leads the league in passer rating on 3rd down. So here we are at 3rd and 6 with 9.5 to go in the opening quarter. Eagles on top 7-0. Play clock at 1 as he gets the snap. And then down the sideline he goes, and Williams had to reach behind. There's a flag on the play. Roy Williams down the sideline had to reach behind. Quentin Michael, the safety, coming over for the coverage.
Personal foul. Grasping the face mask. Defense number 23. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
That is Dimitri Patterson.
Well, the Cowboys, you certainly need a break early on against an explosive team like the Philadelphia Eagles. Here he's working against Kevin Ogletree as he gets his release. No question. Held it for a little while. And that is a big one. Roy Williams just trying to work against the safety and makes a good little inside move. Almost had it.
Williams and Kitna very familiar with each other. They played together in Detroit. Now you got a double reverse coming up here with Miles Austin taking the toss inside the 30 and spinning down at the 14-yard line. They sent Ogletree around one way and then brought Austin back the other way, 26 yards.
It's one of the most dangerous things about playing a team with a losing record when you're trying to make it on into the playoffs. They have nothing to lose. You're going to see everything. You're going to see reverses. You're going to see gadgets. So defensively, you end up on your heels a bit.
I guess technically it's not a double reverse. We'll call it a reverse and a half.
You can call it anything you want.
Tashard Choice is in the backfield now. The ball is at the 14-yard line. Choice through the middle. Big hole inside the 5-yard line. Close to a first down.
You know, in some ways you have to be happy for Tashard Choice. Remember him on opening night. It was his fumble that actually created the losing moment, if you will, right before the end of the half. And he has gotten very little playing time at all over the past few weeks, but last week they put him in, had 100 yards rushing. He is excited and he is loving getting this opportunity.
He had only 14 carries all season until last week when he had 19 and gained 100 yards in Indianapolis. Second down and 1. Choice, and that will move the chains. It'll make it first down and goal at the 3-yard line. He's hit there by Moses Foku.
Well, this is one of those moments now for the Dallas Cowboys when you're playing against the Philadelphia Eagles and Mike Vick. You have to go down here and score touchdowns. You can't come down here. We've seen the Dallas Cowboys certainly early in the season. One of their major issues was mistakes that they made down here on the goal line. And he'd be able to stick this in and start matching points with this offense.
And the major issue for Philly, as you can see it there, they are dead last in the league in red zone defense. First and goal. Choice to the 1. And it's very odd for a team to be that bad in red zone defense, have a record of 8-4. But a lot of the issue is, in this particular case, not that many forays into the red zone against Philadelphia. They have a lot of takeaways.
But those numbers are almost historically low. I mean, it is unbelievable the number of touchdowns that they've allowed. They're going to do a few different things tonight, try and bring some pressure on the wide receivers, a little more press outside there, but this is hard to stop the Dallas Cowboys and this big offensive line from taking it right at you here.
Historically, as in the worst percentage in the league in 22 years. And Kitten is going to take a timeout before a second down and goal. 7-0 Eagles. Philly and the Giants each 8-4. I'm sure most of you know the Giants will play Minnesota tomorrow in Detroit. They couldn't even get into Minnesota. Spent last night in Kansas City. Roof collapsed with the snow cover at the Metrodome, so they'll play in Detroit. Meanwhile, if they wind up with the same record after tomorrow night, these two teams, they meet in the Meadowlands on Sunday. But at the moment, Philly owns the tiebreak because of their head-to-head win 3 weeks ago in a Sunday nighter. Second down and goal. Tashard Choice is the back. Montre Holland lines up in the backfield, and Choice cannot get in. He's inside the 1-yard line. It'll be third down and goal.
Boy, Antonio Dixon there just got lower than everybody else. He's going to split the offensive lineman here and just make the play in the backfield. That is just brilliant defensive line play. Low man wins. That's the phrase you hear when you're working on that goal line offense and defense, and Dixon was the low man there.
How low can you go? Third down and goal. The ball inside the 2. Shotgun. Getting a short drop, and then he finds Witten for the touchdown. Jason Witten makes his 66th catch of the season. It's his 5th touchdown.
Well, Jason Witten's going to get the touchdown, but John Kitten is the reason they completed this pass. They come up there with 2 plays that they call in the huddle, and you could hear John Kitten yelling out, kill, 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 which means he probably killed the run and came with the pass because he saw the pressure right up the middle.
Jaquay Parker came from the outside to put the heat on. Both teams with 1-yard touchdowns. Extra point by Beeler is good. Check out Sunday Night Football Extra at NBCSports.com, and that's the way it'll look right up to the minute. All the statistics right there. Philadelphia with the 72 passing yards. Dallas with 8. But Dallas with the 54 rushing yards. Each team scoring on its opening drive. 5.5 to go in the quarter. Beeler to kick off, and Jordan Calvin ready to run his second kickoff of the night back from the 1-yard line. And he's taken down shy of the 20-yard line. 5:27 to go in Arlington, Texas. Witten for the score. 7-7 the score. One-of-a-kind Cowboys Stadium opened last year here in Arlington, Texas. Field boxes right there. You can get just about everything, including fried quail, cotton candy, you name it.
You name it.
They've got it. Eagles, fresh off a win a week ago Thursday against Houston. Andy Reid gave them 5 days off after that game, so the team should be very fresh tonight. Looked like it. We got a tip ball here intended for Selleck, and it was tipped by Anthony Spencer. Let's go back to the opening play from scrimmage.
You know, we all kind of marvel at what we see from Mike Vick. We just wanted to document it a little bit for you. There we go. That little just casual throw and 61 yards in the air. Watch his elbow here. Watch the torque on this elbow. I mean, that's not like a running kind of effort, stepping into it. That's just sort of a flip.
Wow. He's more accurate than ever. And again, a little trickery from Philadelphia this time as Jackson will get run out of bounds by Jenkins. Slow developing play with Macklin getting it and then flipping it to Jackson. Let's take a look at the Dallas D.
Stephen Bowen, Hofstra.
Jay Ratliff, Auburn University.
Igor Olshansky, Oregon. Anthony Spencer, Purdue.
Brady James, LSU. Keith Brooking, Georgia Tech.
DeMarcus Ware, Troy University.
Terrence Newman, Kansas State.
Gerald Sensabaugh, North Carolina.
Alan Ball, Detroit DePorce.
Mike Jenkins, South Florida.
3rd and 8 out of the gun. You've got Macklin and Jackson both wide right. Macklin working out of the slot. Vick stepping up, feeling the pressure, a spin around, and then Vick is only able to get to the 21-yard line. There is Brady James. Fist in the air because they stop him. 3 and out.
Well, DeMarcus Ware is the guy that you have to stop. 9.5 sacks on the season. They're going to try it with 2 tight ends here. And he's going to miss the first time and sort of hustle his way all the way back around. But Mike had a chance to escape that way, but his wide receivers were flanked to the right. So that time escaping left wasn't nearly the benefit.
Savwaka will do the punting. Brian McCann is back to receive it. And we'll call for a fair catch and make it at the 39-yard line. Cowboys hold. They have the ball with 4:08 to go in the quarter. Knotted at 7. Cowboys Stadium on this chilly Sunday night. Low 40s outdoors. Low 70s with the roof closed. First down, a little swing pass. And getting back to the line of scrimmage is Jones. Now, Tony Romo suffered a broken collarbone against the Giants in late October. Take a look at how close these guys are, though. What Kitna has done. Yards per pass, even. Touchdowns and interceptions, almost exactly the same. Quarterback rating a little higher for Tony. Tony is on the mend. Will he be ready before the end of the season? Might be. He might get cleared. But the question is, will he play? I would doubt it, even if he's cleared to play. Last 2 games on the road, at Arizona, at Philadelphia. They might just be content to let him mend completely, not take any chances, have him ready for next year. 2nd and 10. Pass is caught at the 45-yard line by Miles Austin. Eagles are saying no. Bradley is saying it hit the ground. 17 yards.
Well, on the outside, Miles Austin, who hasn't really been much of a factor the last few weeks, got some single coverage on Dimitri Patterson. And it's interesting because the Philadelphia Eagles, without their 2 original starting cornerbacks, have been a little hesitant lately to blitz because of the people they have back in coverage. And that time the Cowboys with a run formation and then threw out of it.
From the 45, the inside draw goes to Felix Jones. Speaking of Romo, let's check in with Andrea Kremer. Andrea, what do you know?
Well, Al, Romo said that his broken left clavicle is still not completely healed. He's got limited range of motion in it. He told me in order to come back this season, he has to be able to handle his own body weight. For example, he still can't even sleep on his left side. He also can't take a hit there yet on that left shoulder. And everybody that I've talked to, players and coaches, not optimistic he'll return this season.
Well, I'm with you on that, because even if he's able to play, let's say in that last game, what's the upside? You're not talking about playoffs, as Jim Mora might say. Playoffs. Jones taken down. Patterson coming up after Bradley is the first guy there. Under 2 minutes now in the quarter.
One of the guys that we've seen great improvement in is Stuart Bradley, of course, coming off of the knee injury a year ago that knocked him out for the entire season. But lately you can see him back to just playing. He's not thinking about the knee anymore. He is just making aggressive plays, and it is going to be greatly needed here tonight against a pretty good running team in the Cowboys.
3rd down and 9. And the Cowboys have committed to the run, especially over the last 4 weeks. Running more and running early. Here a pass on 3rd down, and no first down, though, as Ogletree runs a short pattern and gets tackled at the 40-yard line by Trevard Lindley, the rookie corner from Kentucky.
Well, we knew we were going to see a few new looks out of the Philadelphia Eagles defensively tonight. Anytime you're playing a divisional opponent, you're going to see some little tricky things. Watch Darryl Tapp here drop back like he's going to go in his own blitz and then rush up. So they're trying to throw a few curveballs at the Cowboys.
Now you've got Matt McBriar, and Deshaun Jackson drops back to accept this punt. And it's a high floater, which Jackson will make a fair catch on at the 11-yard line with 45 seconds to play. Andy Reid, 12th year as the coach. Michael Vick at quarterback. And take a look at this, passing from inside the pocket. Last season as a starter in Atlanta in 2006, those numbers. And then you look at these numbers, and you take a look at the improvement, the difference that you see in Michael Vick 4 years later, Chris.
Yeah, and I think that you have to give this coaching staff a lot of credit. I really do. I mean, Marty Mornhinweg and Andy Reid and all the guys have found a willing participant in Mike Vick. Andy was telling us last night, he said, we faxed things to his house, and the next morning the guy has them completely memorized. That wasn't the case in Atlanta.
And Vick will slide away and throws a bullet to Macklin, and that's caught for a first down. Up at the 22, he's covered there by Newman.
You know, Jeremy Macklin is the guy that leads the Eagles in receiving yards this year and second in catches. And if you're going to leave him one-on-one on the backside, we see a lot of times the Pittsburgh Steelers will do this. They'll overload the formation to one side. But Macklin has become that one guy on the backside of a lot of these formations that if you're going to try and play him one-on-one, he's going to get you.
The Eagles will let the clock run out to end the first quarter. Each team scoring on its opening drive. End of the first quarter at Cowboys Stadium in Arlington, Texas. The Philadelphia Eagles 7 and the Dallas Cowboys 7. And NBC's Sunday Night Football resumes after these messages. Downtown Big D. And the aerial coverage tonight brought to you by the film The Fighter. Al Michaels, Chris Collinsworth, and Andrea Kremer. Second quarter, and there is Sean Lee, and the rookie out of Penn State had some game last week against Indianapolis. 2 interceptions against Peyton Manning, including one in overtime. And Vick will throw, and it's incomplete. They get to Vick as he releases it. So he goes down. DeMarcus Ware got there, and of course Andy Reid was complaining to the league about some of the shots that Vick was taking.
Well, one thing you do not want to do is try and block this guy with a fullback. That is sensory overload right there. Without question, the best pass rusher, and those are the kind of shots that if you're Andy Reid, you would like to avoid on your MVP candidate, Mike Vick. They're moving Ware to both sides and probably going to try and get him matched up on King Dunlop, who's in there for Winston Justice.
Second down and 10. And the inside handoff to McCoy. Well, Michael Vick, Chris, you take a look at him and you think about what might have been in college. He goes to Virginia Tech because he wants to stay close to home. The defensive coordinator, and there he is, Paul Pasqualoni, who took over as the defensive coordinator after Phillips got fired. He was the coach at Syracuse for a number of years. He was McNabb's coach when Donovan was at Syracuse, and he recruited Vick, and Michael admitted last night, he said, that was my second choice. I almost went there, but I went on a recruiting trip. I had a great time, but I got sick. Too cold.
Went home.
3rd and 6. And here's McCoy, and he gets stuffed by Ratliff. Big nose tackle. Clogs the middle, and it's 4th down.
Boy, Jay Ratliff gave the Eagles nightmares last year, and here he goes again. Watch him just swim Mike McGlynn to center here and just work his way past Max Gene Gillis. Kind of an interesting call when you have a quarterback like Mike Vick and the ability to get on the edge on about a 3rd and 6.
Rocca's kick just underneath the big board, and calling for the fair catch as he backs up at the 17-yard line is McCann. That almost hit the board.
I saw you checking it out.
Oh, yeah. Cowboys Stadium, Arlington, Texas. About 90,000 tonight. The seating capacity here is somewhere in the 80s, and then there's a lot of standing room. And, of course, you have that board, which is 90 feet above the playing surface and was almost hit by that lock-up punt. Felix Jones is the running back here as we start from the 19-yard line. Dallas with the ball early, second quarter. They run a draw. And That's Jones. How close did it come? Well, it looked like it got more than 90 feet in the air, but it wound up going to the side of the board. Check this out. What a shot that is.
Do you ever think you'd live long enough to see a picture?
Unbelievable.
A football going past the 80-yard long scoreboard. Goodness gracious.
Got a few views on YouTube. That board has not been hit in a regular season game, only in a preseason game last year. And if it hits the board, it's just a do-over. Play is dead, you do it again. 2nd and 10. Rolling. And here is Jones. And again, it's Jones now and Choice in the backfield. Marion Barber has been hurt for the past couple of weeks, so he's dinged. And of course, it looks like Felix Jones is finally going to get his opportunity to be the primary back, and Choice is seeing more and more action as well.
Watch this one right here, Al. Think this one should have been a penalty? Man, this is the Cowboys and the Eagles going at it.
Got a face mask as well.
Hey, if they don't see it,
Cole, yeah,
it doesn't count.
Pulls them all the way back. Never happened if they didn't see it. Kitten has started the game. He's 7 for 7, but all of them short for 33 yards. And this time it's batted in the air, and he's lucky that one wasn't picked. Trevor Laws, number 93, came in and got a hand on it, and now it's 4th down.
Well, I don't think anybody blocked Trent Cole at all on that one. And
Bradley, that's Bradley who's hurt.
Just right off the right side of your screen there, and just a free runner. I'm sure that was a hot read for John Kitna. No question about it. Tashard Choice had to pick up the blitzing linebacker Stuart Bradley, and Bradley landed right on that elbow.
Yeah. Injury timeout. Fourth down. We'll give you the report on Bradley in a second as he walked off the field. McBriar's punt. Jackson backs up, fields it at the 16-yard line, and gets taken out of bounds. Bradley, and there goes Jackson with a little shoving on Jesse Holley. No harm, no foul. Meanwhile, Bradley landing on his elbow. Missed last year with a torn ACL, and a concussion rendered him inactive for one game earlier this season.
Going to get cut by Tashard Choice, and we'll see probably more than you want to see right there with the elbow landing on the ground. And too bad, because Stuart Bradley had been playing well. He'd finally gotten healthy from the knee and takes the long walk again.
So he's out at least momentarily. Asante Samuel inactive tonight. 3-yard gain here from McCoy. So many storylines here. Of course, one of the big stories in Dallas is who coaches this team in 2011. So far, so good for Jason Garrett. 3-1. Williams doesn't fumble on Thanksgiving. They're probably 4-0. Jerry Jones wants to take his time, though. He doesn't want fool's gold. Now, if Garrett winds up 6-2 or 7-1, it's going to be a situation where a lot of fans are going to want him to be hired. But Jerry wants to look around.
Yeah, but what Jason Garrett's done so far has been pretty impressive with this bunch. And I tell you, just walking into practice the other day, it was a completely different atmosphere.
2nd down and 8. Here's Vick rolling again. And shoved out of bounds into the bench. And was that a late hit? Anthony Spencer got there. And he gets shoved right into the Eagles bench. So everybody gets up off the bench. And a few words for Spencer. And there's Reed, who's as angry as he gets.
Well, remember, Andy Reid complained to the league and anybody that would listen this week that you've got to protect Mike Vick. You can't treat him like he's some superhuman guy. Boy, I tell you, the initial contact was made just before he went out, but Andy Reid's going berserk. That's exactly what he said. He said, if that's Peyton Manning, if that's Tom Brady, I guarantee you get a flag on that one because it's Mike Vick. They consider him a running back. We don't get it.
You almost always see a flag on a play that's that close. Now Vick, none the worse for wear, but the pass is incomplete.
I was surprised, weren't you? I mean, really,
yes.
When I just saw it in real time, I was surprised that wasn't.
Not even that it's Vick, it's anybody at this point. I mean, he's right there on the sideline. That left foot's out of bounds, and Spencer makes the hit.
He did initiate contact just before the foot came down, so you have to give him that much. But we have seen historically if they're going to err, they're going to err on the side of protecting the quarterbacks.
Now Rocca with another chance to hit the scoreboard. Brian McCann, the rookie out of SMU, who's had a pretty fabulous last month. That one is well under the board. McCann from the 20-yard line, and he gets decked, and then the ball will roll out of bounds. Philadelphia could not come up with the recovery, and Dallas will maintain possession. McCann, as he makes the catch, gets whacked. Christmas in the Metroplex. There is McCann. That's his third fumble. He's had two huge plays recently. One as a defensive back against Eli Manning in New York, and the other a 97-yard punt return against Detroit. Eldra Buckley with a hit on the punt return, and then Kitna goes to work here, hitting Miles Austin. One guy missing for Dallas is the great-looking rookie Des Bryant. Fractured ankle last week on a kick return. So Miles Austin and Witten and Roy Williams and Bryant form quite a receiving corps for Dallas, but of course Bryant right now out for the season.
Yeah, we talked to Jason Garrett about it. Does Des Bryant's injury change your mind about using him on special teams? And he said absolutely not. That's a big reason why we drafted him. 2 touchdowns this year on returns.
Meanwhile, with Bradley back in the locker room, Jamar Chaney, a 7th-round draft choice rookie out of Mississippi State, is in the middle for Philadelphia defensively, and it'll be 3rd down and 4 after that Jones run.
Well, one of the big returning guys this week is Jaquay Parker right here. He comes back in after a couple of weeks off with an injury, and what a difference he's made. I tell you, the surprise so far to me of this game is the way the Eagles have been playing the Cowboys running game. The Cowboys looked awesome running the ball last week against the Colts, but the Eagles, even with the backup linebacker, getting it done now.
5 receivers in this set. Play clock down to 0 on 3rd and 4, and a little short flip is incomplete to Bennett on the outside. He's covered there by Quentin Michael. Kitna now 8 for 10, but for only 39 yards.
Well, they show that pressure all the way up the middle, and I know that Kitna was going to try and work this one into the slant, but then those linebackers dropped back underneath it, and he really had no choice but to dump it in the flat, and even if he caught it, it wouldn't have meant anything.
Deshaun Jackson, 3 returns of punts for touchdowns. It's over his 3-year career. Picked by McBride. Jackson looking to run it back, and they'll get it back to midfield before Holly sends him out of bounds at the 50. Philly takes over. The game tied at 7. Offensive coordinator Marty Mornhinweg and James Urban with the quarterbacks, and Michael Vick, and of course that whole brain trust with Andy Reid, whose pedigree is offense as well, getting together and creating for Michael Vick what has been his best season so far.
Yeah, they've been trying to break him of the pop, drop, and hop, as they call it. When he was with Atlanta, you'll see when he leaves the center, he sort of pops out of there. And then, I don't know, maybe trying to look over the line of scrimmage, gets his drop, then watch this hop. Then he does the hop, and they're trying to keep him knees bent, stay low, stay on balance, so that when you want to throw, then you can just go anywhere you want or run the football. So here's a better look. Now watch him. A little smoother there, on balance, knees bent. It really has been a retraining of a quarterback, and boy, is it effective. Clearly an MVP candidate this year.
3 of 7 for 80 yards, 60 of those on the first play. Philly loves to screen, and here it is to McCoy, and it's a great open field tackle as Newman comes up to stop him just about at the line of scrimmage.
Boy, you called that one right. Terrence Newman had about 20 yards of space around him, and he came up with a clean open field tackle. So Newman got beat early in this one, but LaShawn McCoy is one of these shiftier guys that you'll see. Look at all that space around him right there. He won't make that tackle. That one might go for 20, 25 yards. Beautiful.
2nd and 10. Flag comes in.
Encroachment, defense number 90. 5-yard penalty, second down.
Jay Ratliff. Let's go to Andrea.
Well, guys, Stuart Bradley walked right off the field. The trainers were holding his right arm. He went in for an x-ray. He has a dislocated elbow. He is out. You know, he's been so productive in that 4-year career and yet so injury prone.
Right, he missed last year with a torn ACL, had a concussion in the opener. This year missed the next week, and now with that elbow. And of course that means you've got the rookie Jamar Chaney, who's going to see a lot of action. On the draw with McCoy, and McCoy gets to the 39-yard line. McCoy, and he's the guy, of course, who takes over for Brian Westbrook after Westbrook with that scintillating run in Philadelphia through the years. And here's a guy averaging almost 5 yards a carry. Here's a guy leading the team in receptions, has 67 coming in. They called him Shady. His mom called him Shady when he was a kid.
Lovingly,
right?
Shady.
Chad Hall lines up as the running back. He did everything when he was at the Air Force Academy. He swings out here, and Vic will throw it over the middle, and wide open is Jackson inside the 20, and they shove Newman away, and Jackson gets inside the 5-yard line. Jeremy Macklin throwing a block, and that'll make it first down and goal after a gain of 36 yards.
Well, I think that the mere fact that Chad Hall was in the backfield just completely fouled up the Dallas Cowboys. You could see Gerald Sensabaugh was getting screamed at by Alan Ball, I believe it was, trying to tell him to get up and get into that hole, and there was just nobody around. They just blew the coverage on that one. Jeremy Macklin down the field almost turned that one into 6.
So now McCoy is the back here. And Vic off play action. Vic under pressure, and Vic's just going to fire that one out of the end zone, and he was outside the tackle box. DeMarcus Ware was there, and so there is no intentional grounding, and it's second down and goal.
Well, even when DeMarcus Ware gets knocked down, he still finds a way to hustle up and get himself back into play. They're throwing a lot of different looks. They're putting DeMarcus Ware over on King Dunlap's side, but they're not letting Dunlap block him. They're using backs, they're using tight ends, they're double teaming him on every opportunity.
6.5 to the half. Second and goal. Drive started at midfield. Little toss to Hall, and he'll get taken down just short of the 1-yard line.
Well, that's creative, but I don't know what it accomplished.
Yeah.
It's kind of a little shovel pass to the side. They've got a lot of creative stuff to Chad Hall, but none of it's really worked. Last week he was sort of the wildcat quarterback, and that didn't go so well, so they do this little thing here, and that didn't work, so I'm sure they've got something else in mind.
Hall 5'8" and 187. Third down and goal inside the 2. McCoy is the back. The fake to him. Vic rolling, throwing, caught, touchdown. Wide open is Todd Harrimans, who lines up as an eligible receiver, and the guard with a touchdown.
Party time in Philadelphia tonight when an offensive lineman scores a touchdown. This will be good. But Todd Harriman obviously reporting as an eligible tight end right here, and he's going to block on Anthony Spencer. Get him out there. Spencer's trying to grab him. He knows he's trying to get out. And then Mike Vick hits him right between the 7 and the 9. I think it just stuck.
Words you don't hear very often. Hit a guy between the 7 and the 9. Akers with the point after. Second career touchdown for Harrimans. Scored one 2 years ago in a game at Seattle. 5:49 to go. First half. Philly up again by 7. Andy Reid's been coaching since '99 in Philadelphia. So against the Cowboys, he faces them twice a year. 14 wins, 14-8. Joe Gibbs with the record most career wins, but Joe was 15-16. Best winning percentage, go back to Blanton Collier, who succeeded Paul Brown in Cleveland, 667. Then there's Andy. And Andy Reid, who was on Mike Holmgren's staff in Green Bay for so many years. He came in after Ray Rhodes had coached the Eagles for 4 years. And it's quite a run. He's second in tenure only to Jeff Fisher, who's been in Tennessee, and before that, of course, Houston as part of that same franchise for 17 years. Kevin Ogletree. Up past the 20 to the 26-yard line. Eagles owned by Jeff Lurie since the early 90s, and it's been a good combination, Lurie and Reed, and they've kept them in contention every single year. And they were talking about, Michael Vick, and Jeff had to sign off when Reed and the rest of the front office thought about bringing in Vick. Jeff had to spend a lot of time with him, and I think Reed put it really well. He said, Vick he's been a rock star, and he's been at the bottom of the bird cage. And now he's back to being a rock star.
He is. He says everywhere he goes, he gets a warm reception. Forgiving nation, I guess, because pretty unforgettable what he did.
From the 27-yard line on first down, Kitna. And with a flag down, Kitna's going to run and pick up about 8 yards before he's tripped by Ernie Sims. Terry McCauley must be traveling with our group. He reffed last Sunday night's game. Where were we? Baltimore.
Oh, yeah.
Illegal contact, defense number 53. 5-yard penalty added to the end of the play. Automatic first down.
Moses Foku.
Well, Moses Foku, number 53, is going to have the man coverage, and there's a little shot. Must have been just beyond the 5-yard area. Talked about it before, but remember, there is an official watching every single eligible receiver, and they have landmarks out there. They know where that 5-yard marker is, and if it's at 6, you're getting a flag.
From the 40. And Kitna with that head bob.
False start, offense number 19. 5-yard penalty, first down.
Miles Austin.
What's kind of interesting is, did the Cowboys beat the Eagles too badly last year? Because by beating them 3 times, it sort of forced the hand of the Philadelphia Eagles to make some major changes. Now, they were a little bit lucky, let's face it. I mean, it wasn't the plan to go to Mike Vick. They were certainly thinking it was going to be Kevin Kolb. But I think those 2 back-to-back losses forced changes that were very positive for Philadelphia.
I think that's exactly right. And Kitna throws, and that is caught by Williams. And Williams gets into Philadelphia territory to the 45-yard line before he's tackled by Shaney.
Roy Williams is an interesting case. Here's a guy that started so hot this season, had 5 touchdowns in the first 5 games and none since. To some extent, with John Kitna in there, I think this offense has shrunk a bit. You see a lot more throws to backs. You see a lot more throws to the tight ends, not the down-the-field type throws that maybe you would expect out of the Dallas Cowboys.
20-yard gain there. Kitna's longest completion is 9 of 11 for 59. Jones. Chris, to your point, after a 5-yard gain, it forced the trade of McNabb, or at least it hastened it. Brian Westbrook, he was about finished there anyway, but Brian left, and there went Sheldon Brown and Golkong and Sean Jones and Trotter and Witherspoon. And there it was, those 3 wins. And I thought going into the season, Philadelphia was a team of mystery. Kevin Kolb was going to take over. Vick was going to be the backup. What kind of a team? Would they be a 12-win team? Would they be a 5-win team? Were they rebuilding? What would they be? Well, right now they're 8-4. 2nd and 4, and the handoff goes to Tashard Choice.
Well, I tell you, we saw it earlier in the season when Jaquay Parker came back in. What a difference it made for this run defense. And he does his job. He's just going to end up he's going to have the contain here and force it back inside. But for all the good things Brandon Graham can do as a pass rusher, it is this combination that's on the field right now in which we've seen the Eagles stop the run. And when you're playing the Cowboys, you have to do that first.
3-man front on 3rd down and 4. Now the backers come up to make it 5 on the line, and a little blitz from Kitna's right, and tipped in the air and then intercepted at the 23-yard line. Quentin Michael comes up with the interception on the pass intended for Austin and deflected, and Michael takes it away for Philadelphia.
Well, really, it looked like Moses Foku got just enough of Miles Austin to kind of throw him off. There's Foku right there. Watch him. He's going to get this hit, and it just throws Austin off balance, and the ball gets on him a little bit sooner than what he thought. But for Miles Austin, after the monster year last season, drops have happened. I don't know you fully call that a drop. That was a catch and a good one. But for Miles Austin, we've seen a lot of balls come off his hands this season.
That goes into the drop category.
Well,
first turnover of the game. Eagles lead the league in plus minus. They're plus 16 on the turnover ratio table. And now Jason Avant makes his first catch and gets tackled to the 24-yard line by Orlando Scandrick.
Yep.
Here's Austin on target, drops last year 4, this year through week 13, 8. And add one more to that now.
Well, and you change quarterbacks, and the timing changes a little bit. And like I said before, Austin was one of those guys that was such a deep threat, and the offense has shrunk a little here lately.
2nd and 9 as we tick down to the 2-minute warning. And Vick under pressure gets hit as he throws. Here comes a flag as he was whacked by Anthony Spencer.
Roughing the passer, defense, number 93. 15-yard penalty, automatic first.
Well, I'm not so well. Wow. I think Anthony Spencer's thinking, what the heck? All I did was hit him.
Got away with one earlier. They called this one. 2-minute warning.
Well,
as you check out 30 Rock in New York, Toyota halftime show coming your way. And among the things you'll find out about the latest on the Giants-Vikings game we scheduled for tomorrow night in Detroit, including how to get free tickets here in southeastern Michigan.
To an NFL game?
Yeah.
There we go.
Well, that happened before when San Diego had to play Miami in Arizona a few years back on a Monday night because of the fires in San Diego. And Vick will throw deep on first down, and that's Macklin, who was covered there by Scandrick. Back to the hit on Vick, the personal foul. You see Spencer coming in, and then Olshansky with helmet to helmet.
Yep, good call. Terry McCauley got it exactly right. Spencer got away with one on the sideline, then another helmet to helmet on the other side. He's going to get, there's one, no doubt. And then Olshansky coming in on the other side is going to give him one as well.
And then Mike Vick was poking around with his chest. Remember, he had the rib cartilage injury sustained in the game against Washington early in the season, and then he had to miss 3 games after that. Out of the gun here, under pressure, throwing, and it's intercepted, picked off by Sensabaugh. And he's tackled by a butt at the 30-yard line. Gerald Sensabaugh gets it back for the Cowboys.
Well, this is one of those throws. You've got the middle wide open, and he's going to try and lob it in over the top of Keith Brooking running down the middle of the field, and just lobbed it too far. But again, pressure coming at him. And the one thing you know about hits on the quarterback is they do add up, and you end up seeing mistakes come later in the game. Now, certainly, it's tough, but with Mike Vick, he's taken a lot of shots, and they are having a tough time blocking. King Dunlop is struggling over there against no matter who they put on him.
Not more takeaways. That was Spencer again putting the heat on Vick as he tried to get it to Selleck over the middle. Inside handoff out of the gun goes to Jones, and it's a good run, a gain of 10 yards, and we'll see where they spot the ball, and they do give him a first down up at the 43-yard line.
Kind of a significant drive here. You get a real momentum lift and get the turnover. If you can get at least 3 points on the board, you're feeling pretty good going in at halftime.
2 timeouts for the Cowboys. 1:15 and ticking down. Hitting on first down. Look out, avoids the initial thrust. That was Joselio Hansen creating that as he came in untouched, and then he gets finished off. Darryl Tapp got there to make sure they didn't get away.
Another blitz. You're going to get here, and then shoot the gap right down the middle by Joselio Hansen. They were not going to let John Kitna sit back there tonight and just make plays, and then Darryl Tapp came in there to clean it up.
Second and 13 from the 40-yard line. Kittner throws, and that's caught by Witten, but it's only a short gain. Does save a timeout, but only 33 seconds remain.
Yeah, this was such a big play offense, you know, with Tony Romo. I mean, Romo, you knew who he was. He's sort of a little Brett Favre-ish almost, and yet with John Kittner, the percentages were like 75% of the throws within 10 yards of the line of scrimmage. So I think the whole team kind of had to adjust to this new style of quarterback.
I mean, tonight, Kittner's only thrown 3 incompletions and 13 passes, but he's averaging less than 5 yards a pass. So almost everything has been underneath. 3rd down and 9. And he gets that one away, and it's caught by Ogletree, and he spins away, trying to get out of bounds, but can't. They'll have to take a timeout. He does have the first down at the 45-yard line with 25 seconds to the half. Timeout, Dallas. And we're back in there with the numbers for Kittner. As you can see, everything is underneath. He's only thrown 2 passes more than 11 yards from the line of scrimmage. They have 1 timeout. The ball is at the 45 as they try to work their way at least into field goal range. And you've got a false start here.
False start, offense number 85. 5-yard penalty, first down.
And that's Ogletree, who scored his first 2 passes of the season in tonight's game.
It was kind of interesting. John Kittner said, I feel completely comfortable with Kevin Ogletree because we worked on the scout team so much. You know, sometimes when backup quarterbacks move up to the quarterback, they kind of like having some of those scout teams, guys that they have better timing with than they do with Roy Williams or Miles Austin.
What's that screen?
1st and 15. Kittner rolling and then throwing, and the pass is too high. Intended there for Ogletree. Down to 20 seconds in a timeout. They get the ball to about the 35-yard line. They still have a shot because Beeler has a big leg.
Well, John Kittner's game is not really rolling out. And earlier in the year when we were watching some tape on him, his accuracy on the move is just not that good. And he had a chance to step up in the pocket there, and that is really much more his game.
2nd down and 15. 3-man rush. Kittner able to throw it over the middle, and going down is Ogletree, and he's able to make the catch at the 33-yard line, and then they take a timeout here with 10 seconds.
In this stage,
fabulous.
Jones, the wife of Jerry Jones, dedicated herself to making sure that the artwork in this stadium was second to none, and what a lovely woman she's talking to off there to the left there. Miss Linda Michaels.
Know her well. Is this a catch or not is the question now. And this is going to be reviewed upstairs. No challenges in the last 2 minutes. So he goes to the ground. The ball is moving around, and the question is, did he use the ground to help him secure possession?
Will be reviewed.
It's under review. It looks like, I mean, the ball clearly contacts the ground, and now the question becomes, did the ground help him maintain and complete possession of the football?
I wonder if Vince Lombardi would have ever imagined we were going to micromanage catches and plays and slow down instant replay.
You know what Vince would say? What the hell's going on out there?
I think he would too. He's got it. Well, now, you know, your gut's going to knock it around a little bit. I never saw it really move.
I would say, I mean, it's clear to me that the ground helps him gain possession of the ball. I think this one is going to be overturned. Terry McAuley is under the hood. Garrett, at the age of 44, coaching in his 5th game. Jason's father was in the personnel department, scout here for a long time, a former college coach. Once coached at Columbia. Jason went to Princeton, then he went to Columbia, and his father got fired, and he went back to Princeton.
Not
so much for the Lions.
Yeah, but I tell you, Al, I was so impressed watching their practice the other day, and I was reminded of Jimmy Johnson. You know, Jimmy Johnson was notorious for having tough, hard-nosed, disciplined, physical practices. And when I brought it up to Jason, I said, will Jimmy Johnson practice out there? He said, oh, yeah, he had a major influence on me. Of course, he was the backup quarterback when Jimmy was here.
Do it
After
fast.
Review, the ruling on the field stands. First down, Dallas.
Wow.
The game clock should be set for 13 seconds. The player called timeout. 13 seconds, please.
I'm surprised, and they're going to bring Beeler out right now with 9 seconds since they don't have a timeout. They reset the game clock to 13 seconds. You know, you would think you might run one more play here, especially with 4 more seconds on the clock, but they're going to pass that opportunity up and go for a 50-yard field goal. Now McCauley is going to move over to the other side. What he was going to move over and say something to Garrett. Meantime, with Garrett with those 13 seconds is still on first down. Going to have Beeler attempt a 50-yard field goal. Now you get a whistle before the snap.
First charge timeout, Philadelphia.
And Reed calls the timeout. Wouldn't this be interesting if Garrett would rethink this because Reed called the timeout and try one more play, Chris?
Yeah, and I think at the very least here, you may, as Jason Garrett, want to just make sure. Here we go, just going to freeze him a little bit. That was the intention there. I love watching Andy Reid sort of timing that baby out. He likes doing that. But, you know, at the very least, you may want to just drop back, even if you don't want to risk a throw and throw the thing out of bounds so that you don't have to end up kicking it off. You could actually do that twice probably and get away with it.
We'll work the sideline, just try to get it deeper downfield with 13 ticks.
But Beeler should have no problem with the distance here.
Correct.
That's not the issue. It's that old accuracy thing.
50-yarder. And that one is just inside the right upright. So they get the call on the replay. Beeler tacks on 3 and the score is 14-10.
Now, this David Beeler is something else. He's a guy, I think he's got like 9 tackles on the kickoff team. One of the fastest guys on the team. Big, strong, physical guy. I think he used to play linebacker, and he loves playing the game. Kind of a fun kicker to have on your team. He headbutts and does all that stuff.
Real football player.
Yeah. I never did a headbutt. Like, why?
Mid-season replacement. Most points scored in the first 4 games. Wally Lem took over for the Oilers in their second year of existence. Ray Berry for the '84 Patriots, and then he was able to get them to the Super Bowl the following season. And then Garrett with 133 points in his 4 games. He was the offensive coordinator. You know, we were talking about, do you make him the head coach next year? Well, you know, part of the issue was, I mean, he was part of, I don't want to say the problem, but he was the offensive coordinator for the first half of the season.
But really, if you looked at the numbers, the collapse of this defense was the main culprit. Now you've got a tough decision here. You don't want to set these guys up where they're going to end up having a chance for their own field goal.
Now you've got the run back by Calvin. He'll get it out to the 25-yard line, and the clock will show 2 seconds. Dallas will get the ball when the second half starts.
And I've noticed this year, after that opening play against Washington just before the half, where we saw the fumble in that one, we've seen a lot more coaches in this kind of situation take a knee maybe than they even had in the past.
I think there's very little upside and there's a big downside. You have a fumble, you have a sack fumble, you have an interception. You'll have none of those right here. This is simply a kneel down, and that ends the first half in Arlington, Texas. With the score, Philadelphia 14, Dallas 10. Coming up next, the Toyota halftime show after these messages from your local NBC station. And thus we start the third quarter with Philadelphia up 14-10. Keep your head in the game with NFL Mobile, only from Verizon, the official wireless service provider of the National Football League. Cowboys Stadium, Arlington, Texas. Al Michaels, Cris Collinsworth, Andrea Kremer on the second Sunday night of December. We're wrapping up the 14th week of play in the National Football League. So Ogletree back to receive the kick. Dallas gets the ball as we start the third quarter. Akers coming forward. from the 2, Ogletree. Coming right up the middle. And tackled up at the 33-yard line by Eldra Buckley.
Oh, Vic not sacked in the first half, but boy, did he take a lot of hits. And this is the one that may be the most significant. On the interception, you could see his thumb hit the helmet of the Cowboys defender, and he was over on the sideline messing around with it. So we certainly are going to keep an eye on that as we move forward with this one.
33-yard line. They start here again. Philadelphia minus Stuart Bradley, their starting linebacker. Jamar Chaney, the rookie, in that spot. And he joined us later. Asante Samuel inactive again, 3rd straight week. Knee issue. Batted and then batted and swatted away, and a flag is thrown.
I think this ball is going to be tipped, so the bat's going to be allowed, as long as it wasn't a fumble.
There's no foul for illegally touching the pass. The ball was tipped by the defense. However, prior to the pass, illegal contact.
Sustaining of the first drive, and that might be the case here with Roy Williams.
Well, these are very young corners, and it's the reason I keep waiting for that. It's out there. You have to try it.
Throwing that one away. Not only are they missing Samuel, but also Ellis Hobbs, who got hurt in that Sunday night game, and they lost Marlon Jackson in preseason. Let's go to Andrea.
Well, Andy Reid visibly upset by all the hits on Michael Vick. When I asked him about it, he didn't want to comment on it, just said they have to protect better, run the ball more, and get their offense into some kind of rhythm. As for the Cowboys' lack of downfield throws, Jason Garrett said Eagles are getting good pressure and playing tight coverage, but they will still try and take their shots downfield.
Let's see if that indeed happens here, because getting a 12 out of 17 for 92 yards. A 1-yard touchdown pass to Witten and 1 interception. And here goes Jones through the middle, and he'll get taken down by Jamar Chaney, that 7th-round rookie out of Mississippi State.
Well, you know, pre-snap, it does look like they are playing 2 deep safety, so you would want to run the ball. But what's happening when they're snapping the football, one of the safeties, in that case it was Quentin Michael, is going to come down to play run defense, and so it has been difficult to try and run it.
Martellus Bennett.
Well, this is a good read by John Kedness. So you're going to see both safeties on this one drop back, and so now he's just going to check it down. And the one thing that I think is going to happen here relatively soon is Jamar Chaney is going to get tested. That time had Tashard Choice coming out of the backfield. When they open it up and get that one-on-one, I'd sure want to see what that young rookie could do in man coverage.
And Bradley, the starter, with a dislocated elbow. And obviously done for the night, and that pass is caught over the middle. So he flings one downfield, and it's caught by Jason Witten, and he's tackled at the 31-yard line. That's a gain of 17.
Well, and they went directly at Jamar Chaney on that one. You've got Jason Witten, who's going to come straight down the field, but it was Jamar Chaney in that Tampa 2 drop that turned his back to Witten's side, which is kind of unusual. I mean, he is the obvious threat to work down the field. So let's see if Kedness stays in the middle of the field and tests that young man.
Choice in the backfield now, and they use a fullback. That's Cris Gronkowski. His brother scored 3 touchdowns from New England in the Sunday nighter in Pittsburgh last month. Foku stopping Choice after a short game.
Well, we have seen a much more physical presence out of the offensive line. Of course, it helped that Kyle Kozar is back playing the left guard position. Free and Kozar over here on the left-hand side, going to get that double team, get Broderick Bunkley moving a little bit. And, you know, that's The running game gets better as defenses get tired, so sometimes you have to be patient with it.
On 2nd and 8. Off the fake, set it up, go the other way. Second catch for Bennett on this drive. Tackled by Quentin Michael. First down, Dallas.
Anytime Jason Witten comes across the formation, you tend to pay a little bit more attention to him. But watch right there, Martellus Bennett is going to go to the ground, sit there patiently, and just wait for that screen coming back across the way. I think defensive players and defensive coordinators hate that play more than any other, especially you see a lot of it down there on the goal line.
19-yard line, first down. Kremer sliding to his left, and the pass is incomplete, intended for Roy Williams. Patterson with the coverage.
Kind of Roy Williams just didn't come out of this break really hard. I mean, he looked like he was in perfect position. He's going to come and then just relax a second, and then wasn't quite ready to make the catch. You could see that Kitna did the right thing, drew him away from the coverage. It was just that moment's hesitation coming out of that break there that probably cost them the completion.
And again, two guys with a lot of experience having played together in Detroit. Felix Jones is back in as the running back. Kitna going for Bennett again, and that's swatted down. There's a flag thrown. Kurt Coleman knocking it down on the underthrown ball. Wouldn't have counted anyway.
Illegal use of hands to the face. Offense number 65. 10-yard penalty, second down.
Center Andre Garrod.
You know, sometimes you get a good, quick first move, and the center really has no choice. Believe me, they would rather take the penalty than get their quarterback hit, and so I've never seen a quarterback yet yell at an offensive lineman for protecting him in that situation. That's all right. I can complete another pass. Just don't send me to the hospital, big guy.
Against the Eagles last year, there it is, 2 games in the regular season with 4 penalties and only 3 the rest of the schedule. And second down and 20 now. And that pass is dropped by Ogletree. Picks it up by Austin on the play. Incomplete. Third down and 20.
That was really a nice play by a young man, Trevard Lindley, a 4th-round pick this year, who came off the edge. Just another one of those inexperienced kind of guys they've got to throw out there and see what happens. He's going to see this screen, but Austin's going to come out and try and get him, and he just couldn't quite get there. He smelled it out all the way. Clever play by Lindley.
Rookie out of Kentucky, playing the outside of the nickel. Third down and 20, and they'll keep it on the ground and give it to Jones. And he'll pick up about 4 yards. Cowboy loses his helmet. Chaney makes the stop. Leonard Davis is the guy. Saw helmet.
Unbalanced line here, but watch Leonard Davis. He's going to come around and hit somebody so hard his helmet goes flying. Coming right out. Dong. Yeah, that's the Ernie Sims. Ernie Sims is, tell you what, he's not a big guy at all, but he is known to, there's some violent hits on the field.
David Beeler trying to make this a 1-point game. This will be a 43-yard attempt. McBriar puts it down, and Beeler's kick is good. Opening drive, second half, results in a field goal. 14-13 Eagles. Next Sunday night, America's game of the week, we will be in Foxborough, Mass. The Green Bay Packers come to town to take on the red-hot New England Patriots. Football night starts at 7 Eastern time. Tom Brady today setting or tying a record held by Don Meredith. 6 consecutive games with at least 2 touchdowns and no interceptions. Kickoff taken at the 2-yard line by Jurek Calvin. Back to the 22. He comes with 10-11 to go in the third quarter. Eagles with the ball up by a point. Mike Vick, leading vote getter for the Pro Bowl, and he has taken some shots tonight.
Sure has. DeMarcus Ware, Anthony Spencer, some legal, some borderline legal, and some completely illegal as we've gone throughout the course of it. But we saw Mike throw the interception. We saw him ding his thumb at the end of the first half, and that's a double helmet-to-helmet shot right there. Have to keep an eye on him now and see how that thumb is.
Through all that, no sacks, though, for the Cowboys. A lot of knockdowns. From the 22, they start this drive with a little high snap out of the shotgun. And Vic will gun it downfield, and open is Jackson. He gets free, cutting across to the 44-yard line, a gain of 24.
Well, here's what makes it so tough. This is that read option fake. Waiting is for Jeremy Maclin to clear out the deep corner, and then he brings Deshaun Jackson across. They've been hitting that a lot in the last few games.
Called a gain of 22 yards, 44-yard line. There's the fake to McCoy. Vic spins away from Ware, rolling against the grain, has it deflected and intercepted, picked off by Brady James. Well, if there's one thing every defense loves to do, it's getting Vic going the other way, going to his right to throw, and that time it pays off for Dallas.
You can't blame this one on Mike Vick. This is a brilliant scramble play, and Jeremy Maclin's just going to let it go right through his hands. He does the right thing. He comes back to Vic. Great throw. Just bounces right off his hands. That is some throw. You're talking about dropping down sidearm while you're moving away from your body. Put it right on the money.
Opportune time for Brady James. Second career interception. 8 years in the league. The last one was in 06. Number 2 right there. Gives Dallas the ball. They start with a screen to Jones. First down for Jones. And a lot more. Inside the 20. Inside the 10. First and goal from the 2.
So many times after a turnover, big plays can get you. And for Felix Jones, I still think this is what he does best. Not necessarily running between the tackles, but you get him in space. He is just so dynamic. What a great job with those offensive linemen getting down the field. Andre Gerard and company paving the way.
Good initial block, too, by Kyle Kozar to help spring him. From the 2. Nothing doing. Jones through the middle with 8.5 to go in the quarter. Second and goal.
So the Philadelphia Eagles fairly comfortable, and then back-to-back interceptions, putting the Cowboys right back in this. Trent Cole, the guy that they've been focused on ever since he's been around here. There's no question the Dallas Cowboys thought, we're going to win this game. We have to take Trent Cole out of it. He is their best pass rusher by far.
Second and goal. Jones. Touchdown.
Let's make sure he crosses the plane before we do anything else. Certainly looks like it. Hard to tell where the knee is. Remember, they're calling it a touchdown. With the forearm strike, it was his arm down underneath. Right there. They may, if they get a chance, they could take a look at it.
Well, Andy Reid gets the word from upstairs, don't challenge, and he doesn't. I don't think they'd overturn it. You didn't see enough. Beeler for the point after. Jones in for the touchdown after the James interception. Dallas by 6. Holiday season. Dallas Fort Worth. We're in Arlington, about halfway between the two cities. 6-point Dallas lead after that interception. Set him up for the touchdown, and Chad Hall brings it back out to the 23-yard line. The tip, the James. Eagles and Giants, each 8-4. Philly trying to go to 9-4. Giants play tomorrow night after the collapse of the roof at the Metrodome in Minneapolis today. They play the game in Detroit tomorrow night. Now Philly down for the first time in the game. The ball is at the 23-yard line. And here is McCoy busting one through the middle. And just when you were wondering about McCoy, Jenkins will run him down, but not until he gets inside the 25-yard line. McCoy had 6 carries for 15 yards until that 55-yard scamper.
What a great job up front. Watch the center Harriman come up here and block, and you're going to get Todd Harriman's down with this block there, and it is just going to pop wide open. Perfect combination. Great read up front by those offensive linemen to spring LaShawn McCoy.
And a good downfield block by Macklin. Here is McCoy now for a tough 4 yards to the 17-yard line.
You know, it was so interesting. Before that carry, I kept wondering where LaShawn McCoy was. Until then, he had 15 yards rushing, 0 receiving, and usually he's such a weapon on those screen passes. And I think somebody, probably Marty Morningwig, asked the same question on the sideline, and they're starting to get it to him now.
2nd and 6. Jenkins limped off after that long run. Brian McCann in there. 2nd and 6 now from the 17-yard line. Vick pressured away and then gets the pass away, and Sensabaugh is right there to tackle the fullback Owen Schmidt as he makes the grab.
Boy, there aren't many people that are as athletic as Mike Vick seems to be on the field out there. DeMarcus Ware that time kind of got blocked on the outside, but it almost looked like he was moving faster than Mike Vick. Watch him after Peters gets him a little bit, and they're going to try and get a chip. But then when Mike Vick tries to turn on the gas a little bit, so does DeMarcus Ware.
3rd and 4. And he gets hit from behind on a corner blitz by Scandrick.
Great job by Jason Hatcher right here to take the inside move to set this thing up for Orlando Scandrick. He's going to force King Dunlap inside, shorten the edge right there on the outside, and come up with a huge sack. Dallas Cowboys firing a few blitzes back at the Eagles, which is usually their style.
A most opportune time for their first sack of the night, and then Akers on a 39-yard attempt bangs that one through. So they do get 3 with 5:06 to play in the quarter, and it's 20-17 Dallas.
Big time.
Akers, the 3-point game, sends that one 2 yards into the end zone. Ogletree coming out with it, and Ogletree gets taken down inside the 10 by Colt Anderson. You know, Wade Phillips gets fired after the Green Bay game. They're 1-7, but on the staff is his son, Wes Phillips, and there he is on the right. Wes Phillips, quality control offensive assistant. Talking to Garrett about that the other day, and he says, you know, Wes has been my right-hand guy. He said, I said, what was the conversation like? He said, it wasn't a very easy conversation for me, but Wes made it easy.
Well, it wasn't like Jason fired Wade. You know?
Right. But still, I mean, you know,
yeah, I hear you.
The dynamics involved in that. From the 8-yard line on first down. Here is Tashard Choice picking up 1. Which Jason has a relative. He has his own brother.
John,
on the staff as well.
Tight end coach.
Right.
You know, this is a big game for, obviously, the Philadelphia Eagles. They're trying to keep pace with the Giants, but it's a big game for Jason Garrett, just trying to keep his job. And you just have to wonder how far this win would go with Jerry Jones already beating the Giants, having a win on the road against the Colts. Knock off the Eagles, that resume starts looking pretty good.
Second down and 9. Getting over the middle. That's Witten. They'll stand him up about 3 yards short of the first down. Foku is the first guy there. And it will now be third down and a long 2.
Now for Jason Witten, here's a guy that's been one of the best tight ends in all of football for a long time. We were talking to Sean McDermott, the defensive coordinator, and he said, I think he's the best. You know, there may be a better receiver, there may be a better blocker, but when you take the entire combination of what that guy has done over the past 6 or 7 years, I think he's the best. 6 straight Pro Bowl appearances.
Team's leading receiver. Third and 2. Getting that to the outside, and that is incomplete, way over the head of Austin. Fourth down.
Well, a young man by the name of Trevard Lindley is either extremely confident or overly cocky. He is going to get right in the face of Miles Austin, and I promise you, Austin is going back to the sideline and going, enough, guys. This defense is shrinking down. We got to take a shot.
Here's Matt McBride with a low line drive kick, fielded by Jackson at the 44. And then after missing him initially, McCann missed him initially, then came back and cleaned it up.
Well, for Deshaun Jackson, usually when he does that, he's running for a while. Well, Mike Vick, we've seen him do obviously some phenomenal things athletically, but for me still, when I watch him throw, I don't see any other throwing motion like that. Look at his forearms, a little bloody, and he's been taking a beating out there. The last 4 games, he has now thrown a few interceptions and has fumbled and has been taking some hits. We talked with Mike, and he said that I would play me the same way, and that is just hit me as often as you could.
But he had only 2 interceptions all year coming into this game, and he has 2 tonight. And down he goes, and that's Ratliff. As Vick stepped up, big number 90 is right there.
Well, Jay Ratliff was a nightmare last year in those 2 games at the end of the year, and here he goes again. Working against Todd Hermans and just ended up beating him just in one-on-one. And for Mike Vick, he goes, yeah, he says, that's one. I'm going to come back with another one. Really has not been a big year for Jay Ratliff. He only has a couple of sacks to his name after about 6 a season ago.
How do you do? On 2nd and 16, and that's caught at the 45-yard line. Going right down is Riley Cooper, a rookie out of Florida.
Well,
and you got Cooper in the game right now with Jackson after that run back having his left foot or ankle being worked on and checked out.
So Des Bryant gone based on special teams, and now you have to wonder about Deshaun Jackson.
Jerome Harrison is the running back. Came over in a trade with Cleveland about a month ago. 3rd down and 5. And Vick slings it, and it is caught at the 43-yard line, and going down is Jason Avant to make the catch before the ball hits the turf, and that's a first down.
Well, I like the read this time by Mike Vick. He saw Keith Brooking going off in man coverage on the outside and just threw it right behind him in the hole. That's the thing that we've seen from Mike Vick, and really that he'll say that he's improved on the most. Being able to read the defenses, get the ball quickly out of my hand, and throw on balance. That's what he thinks the difference has been.
From the 42, McCoy, an Eagle losing his helmet, Max Gene Gillis. And McCoy is able to squirt through for a gain of 6.
Now for Max Gene Gillis, there's a guy that's been in and out of the lineup with Nick Cole, but really the story is right there on the sideline with Deshaun Jackson, the big play threat who has made a few big plays in this one tonight. But the dynamics of this team certainly changes when he's not on the field.
So Andrea getting a very first-hand look at the foot or ankle of Jackson. 2nd down and 4. McCoy stop him at the 34-yard line. Sean Lee, the Penn State rookie making the tackle.
You know, Sean Lee had a couple interceptions in the game last week, one on a tip ball, and I was like, oh, big deal, you know, let me put on the tape and see whether or not he really ends up being a player or not. Here he is right here, I think. And he was just all over the field. I mean, his vision and decision making tackles, it was one of the best linebacker performances I've seen all year.
3rd and 2 in the waning seconds of the quarter. And Vic will throw, and that's juggled and then caught by the very sure-handed Jason Avant, who got positioned on Skandrick, and that'll move the chains. And as soon as they spot the ball, they'll start the clock again, and that will be the end of the quarter. So they work on Jackson, who reties his left shoe. That's the end of 3 at Cowboys Stadium. 20-17. Dallas. Sunday Night Football continues after these messages. Going on right here. Al Michaels, Cris Collinsworth, Andrea Kremer. Deshaun Jackson comes back into the game. Had his ankle worked on, and here's how it happened.
Cam's just going to land right on the back of that left ankle. Jackson back in, and he has been the big play threat tonight and really all season.
3-point game. Eagles from the Cowboy 30, and Michael Vick to the end zone, and incomplete. There's Jackson looking for a flag, and he couldn't get one. Covered by Mike Jenkins.
Pretty good coverage by Mike Jenkins down the field. Talking about one tough assignment. Man-to-man bump and run on this speedster. Never gets his head around, and Jackson's complaining. Watch the torque here. Pretty good stuff. But Deshaun Jackson tonight, 3 catches for 119 yards. The next closest receiver has only caught balls worth 18 yards, and that's Jason Avant.
Jenkins has been hobbling on and off the field. He's off right now. It's 2nd down and 10. Here comes the blitz. He gets it away to McCoy. That's a great tackle by James.
Brady James just saved him. That was an all-out blitz, man coverage down the field. We've only got one shot, and it's right there. Perfect call by Marty Morningweg. All you want's a chance. Put your big play guy out on a little screen. But it was Brady James too good there. That's the 2nd time we've seen great open field tackles. Earlier in the game, Terrence Newman did the same thing.
Another big play for James. Had the earlier pick to lead to a Dallas score. 3rd down and 12 now from the 32-yard line. Just a 3-man rush. And Vick into traffic and incomplete. Trying to get it to Avant, who was well covered. 4th down.
Well, that time King Dunlop, who's had a few issues here tonight, is going to do the job on Marcus Ware. Yes, it's only a 3-man rush, but that was singled up man-to-man. And Mike Vick got away with one here. This one floated on him and almost landed in the lap of Terrence Newman.
David Akers, been with the Eagles since '99. This will be a 50-yard attempt to tie it. Akers with plenty of leg and right down Broadway. 1:03 into the 4th quarter. 2020. Occasionally statistics lie, but not in this particular case. Look at how close it is statistically in this game. Rushing, passing, total yardage. Philly with 2 turnovers, Dallas 1. And the score?
Never
2020.
Guessed. Yeah.
Akers, who just tied the game, booms one into the end zone. Ogletree downs it there. So we saw Dallas early in November. There was November 7th, and they were 1-6 coming into the game, and it was a miserable night. Jason Garrett said bad night for everybody, and that was the look on the faces of the Cowboys. And of course, before sunset the next day, that was the end of the Wade Phillips reign, and here it is tonight, a completely different story. 5th game for Jason Garrett as the head coach, and plenty of smiles on the bench, but still a lot of football to be played from the 19-yard line. no gain right there as Jones is taken down at the line of scrimmage. I look at Dallas. I keep thinking about that Dennis Green meltdown when he's coaching Arizona. The Bears are who we thought they were, right? The Cowboys are finally who we thought they were, too.
Although not so much tonight. I really have to give the Eagles defense a ton of credit. They've been doing a good job stopping the run and keeping this team in it. I thought the Cowboys would have a little more success running the football.
But here they are, tied with them, and doing a good job basically on Michael Vick tonight. 2nd down and 11, and the pass is a short one that's caught by Jason Witten, who gets taken down by Quentin Michael at the line of scrimmage. Tony Romo, we talked about Tony with the broken left collarbone and not ready to be cleared. Could be in a couple of weeks, but again, the chances of him playing, I think, are very minimal.
I think it'd be ridiculous. You know, he was showing, and he can throw the ball. The problem is on the left side. You can tell. When he rotates that one around, you know, he was doing his golf swing and all these things. He said, I can't turn. I can't do anything.
3rd and 8. They have Sam Hurd in the game. Set wide to the right. Getting stepping up. And then throws, and that'll be caught, but short of the 1st down as he goes to Martellus Bennett. It's going to make it 4th down and 2 and bring in McBriar and company.
Well, the Eagles that time came up and made John Kitna believe that there was some kind of blitz coming on that one, and then just bailed out and kept him short of the 1st down, and Deshaun Jackson gets another shot. Kind of reminds me of Ed Reed back there. He just looks so comfortable catching the ball, and I feel like one's going to happen sooner or later.
Scary. Good kick. Backing up 15-yard line, and they pin him to the sideline, and he's out of bounds at the 18, and there's a flag. Flag near where the play ended.
During the return, illegal block in the back, receiving team number 14, half the distance to the goal, 1st down, timeout.
Riley Cooper, Philly starting deep in its own territory in a tie game. This January, the world's next superhero is not in theaters, it says here. The series premiere of The Cape coming to television Sunday, January the 9th. Right here on NBC.
As opposed to you ad-lib that? Is that what you're trying to say?
Always got to give credit to the writers.
There you go.
From the 9-yard line. 1st down. Vick back to pass. And that is caught by Jackson along the sideline. And Jackson down the middle of the field being chased inside the 20, inside the 10, and into the end zone backwards for the touchdown. Wow. Twisted his ankle, missed a couple of plays, comes back in, and it's 91 yards. Just able to stay in bounds down the left side, and he comes off hobbling. And now you got a flag for celebration in the end zone.
Unsportsmanlike conduct after the play. Offense number 10 went to the ground in a demonstration. 15 yards will be assessed on the kickoff. The touchdown counts.
That is the longest play in the National Football League from scrimmage.
I think he has them all.
Season.
Yeah, I think he has every one of them. And I don't know what he's doing over there now, just exhausted. But that was unbelievable. I mean, really, Mike Jenkins missed that ball by a couple of inches maybe, and it turns into a 91-yard touchdown.
Akers for the point after. One play, 91 yards, and the Eagles are back up on top by 7.
Mike Vick is going to thread this one in perfectly. I mean, Jenkins couldn't have missed that by more than an inch, and then it was over. I mean, you could just see this. Jenkins just missing, and there's no support. They're up there in quarters coverage, and here it was. Could not get his hand on it, and then nobody's catching him from here. The Washington Redskins will tell you that. There's no way to catch him once he gets out there.
Scandrick, the last guy with a chance.
You know, it's an interesting call because they had to rule that he had crossed that line before he fell in. You're always allowed to dive into the end zone.
Right.
So unless his foot hit that ground, I don't know that that should have been excessive celebration. You're allowed to dive into the end zone. I mean, you know, it wasn't that it was necessary, but I don't think I would have called that one.
Maybe it's on reputation. Deshaun likes to fool around the goal line, and it's cost him in his career, both in college and in the pros.
Yeah, one of the more famous ones against the Cowboys.
Right.
Where he had the ball all the way down the field.
Big play, Jackson. 91 yards, as I said, longest play from scrimmage in the NFL this year. Now the kickoff, because of the celebration, comes from the 15-yard line, and still Akers gets plenty of foot into it. A one-hopper fielded by Ogletree, and the coverage is excellent. Cooper is there to bounce him out of bounds at the 23-yard line. Talking about Jackson celebrations. This was a high school All-American game back in '05. Ball comes loose. Here he was against the Cowboys 2 years ago. No touchdown. Well, plays with fire, but gets away with it occasionally.
Yeah, when sometimes great players can get away with things that other players would not be allowed to do on a football team.
Yeah, but it still cost your team 15 yards on the other end of it.
I agree.
From the 23-yard line, here's Kitna throwing, and that is picked off. Dimitri Patterson is able to intercept it and stay in bounds to pick him off on a pass intended for Roy Williams.
I think you've just got a bad read on the part of John Kitna. You've got safety up here that is just covering half the field. He had no deep responsibility, so Dimitri Patterson was able to break on the ball. He didn't have to worry about whether or not Roy Williams ran by him. He had safety help, and John Kitna sort of threw over there blindly, and it cost him. I tell you, we came in the game talking about these young cornerbacks, but Dimitri Patterson, Trevard Lindley, Joselio Hansen, they played well.
Patterson had a big penalty on the first drive that helped sustain a Dallas drive that resulted in a touchdown, but a huge pick here, and now McCoy for a first down to the 20-yard line. He goes, gain of 12.
Well, and for the Dallas Cowboys defense now, that kind of quick turnaround is just deadly. You're out there, you're demonstrated that you give up a big play out there, and now all of a sudden they're coming right back down at you, and defensively now the Cowboys have to make some kind of a stand. For all the praise that we laid on Sean Lee, didn't make such a good read on that one and cost him a big run.
There's Spencer on the sideline. The linebacker, you saw Jackson on the Philadelphia bench. Brandon Williams replacing Spencer for the moment on first down. Sean McCoy gets the ball to the 17-yard line, gain of 3. Dallas, in terms of turnovers this year, the first 8 games with 19, last 4 only 5, but tonight 2. Big.
You know, it's been kind of interesting, though, is to watch Mike Vick. All the hits that he's been taking, he has not been the running threat tonight. I think right now just 4 rushes for 7 yards, but he's been making the plays from the pocket despite getting hit, which is another leap forward for him.
Crowd welcomes Jackson back into the game with a cascade of boos. On an end around here. And this is Deshaun, who gets taken down after a gain of a couple by Ware and by Brooking.
And I think DeMarcus Ware had visions of a big hit when Deshaun Jackson stopped, and the minute he turned around, Deshaun turned around and looked and saw DeMarcus, said, I think I'm getting to the ground on this one.
And he's also going to limp off here as well, or at least he started to.
See if it looks like he really wants to make this cut. Sometimes when you get that bad ankle and then pounded it in the ground, it's a little bit of a shock to your system.
Well, he comes off now, and it'll be late getting the play in here on 3rd down and 3. And Philadelphia will be compelled to use a timeout with 9:02 left in regulation, and the Eagles up by a touchdown. 9:02 remaining in the 4th quarter. Philadelphia trying to go to 9-4. Stay in front of the Giants, who play tomorrow night in Detroit against Minnesota. That was Jackson. He had come out of the game, limped off. They took a timeout. Now he's back in.
210 yards receiving for Deshaun Jackson tonight, a new career high for him.
And 9 minutes to play. 3rd and 3. Vick spins away and then gets taken down a little short of the first down by Ware, DeMarcus Ware, after Mike Jenkins had come up to slow him. So there you are with 4th down and inches.
Well, it looked like Jenkins had him dead to rights in the backfield, coming right off the slot there, and just couldn't tackle him. And DeMarcus Ware was able to finish it off, but this looked like it's going to be for no gain. And boy, I tell you, Mike Vick, I don't even know if he ever saw Mike Jenkins, and all of a sudden was able to hit and spin out of it and almost picked up the first down.
4th and inches, but the Eagles compelled to try a field goal, 28 yards, to make this a 2-possession game. And David Akers bangs it right down the middle again. 8:17 left in the 4th. Eagles now up by 10. Clearly, Chris, that conversation is about a double A-gap blitz.
I'm thinking the designated hitter has come up at some point tonight.
Probably. The great Tom Brokaw here. Bob Costas keeping him company at Cowboys Stadium. Akers. Touchback. McCann. Dallas will take it at the 20-yard line with 8:17 to play. 30-20. Eagles. They've been getting to Michael Vick, and before we went to that commercial after the field goal, he had taken a shot, and they were working on his left shoulder, even though they're saying they were just adjusting his pads. You tell me.
Yeah, that's what DeMarcus Ware just did.
Yeah,
adjusted his pads for him a little bit. Boy, people don't like telling us exactly what's going on, do they? When they get a player a little dinged up.
You think?
Well,
ball is at the 20-yard line, first down. And that's caught over the middle by Witten for a gain of 14 out to the 34. Let's go to Andrea, who knows what's happening.
Well, Al, for Dallas, wide receiver Kevin Ogletree limped off the field. He went in for x-rays of his right foot. Now, remember, he was expected to play a much bigger role with the loss of Des Bryant for the season.
All right, thank you, Andrea. And that's why we're seeing Sam Hurd in there, number 17. It's first down and 10 at the 34-yard line. Hurd wide to the left. Roy Williams wide to the right. Halfway through the quarter. Kitten's going to pack it in. And in his 15th year in the league, out to the 44-yard line, he goes. Jamar Chaney in his first year in the league with the tackle.
That time they were going to show a blitz over here to this side, but they end up bringing it this way. You could hear Kitna say 51's the mic and try and get Felix Jones over there to help, and then got surprised a little bit coming back the other way. Just scrambled and made something out of it.
2nd and 1. And that's Hurd who makes the catch up to the 49-yard line. John Kitna tonight, that's 201 yards. Talked about Kitna. He said, I just wanted 1 year in the league. Now I have 15. He went to college. He said, I went to college to become an accountant.
He can account a lot of money after 15 years. But John Kitna and Miles Austin has been the majority of the running game tonight. The running backs tonight, 20 for 57 yards, not even 3 yards per carry. The Eagles have done a great job shutting down the run game of the Cowboys.
Number 49, a quick flip to the left side, and that's Williams, and they'll get across the 50 and not much farther. Tackled by Patterson after a gain of 2 yards. 2nd down and 8.
I tell you what, not me. I'm not going to talk about these inexperienced corners anymore for the Philadelphia Eagles. They played a great game. By any standard tonight, these guys have gotten it done, filling in for Asante Samuel, Ellis Hobbs. So many questions about could they do it. Dimitri Patterson's been great. Trevard Lindley's done great. Azaleo Hansen's done his job.
2nd and 8. Here they come. Knocked down. All-out blitz, and that's Nate Allen, a great-looking rookie out of South Florida. Drafted in the 2nd round, started since opening day, knocking it to the ground.
Right over here, the young guy. Let's add him to the mix as well, because we talked about the youth and inexperience. Well, there's another rookie starting at the safety position. He read it perfectly. He knew what was coming. Blitz was coming. He knew that Kitna had to throw the hot read. Jumped right in the middle of it.
Meanwhile, Brandon Graham, another good-looking rookie 1st-round pick out of Michigan, is the injured Eagle.
You know, this Philadelphia Eagles team, Al, I really think that if there's one team, remember when we did the Patriots game and we were talking about their defense and how I think that they may eventually grow up and really turn into something by the end of the year? Well, you kind of get that same feeling going with this Philadelphia Eagles team. They have the offensive firepower to score points with a team like the Patriots ultimately, but their defense is young, they're getting better, and then they're going to get Asante Samuel back, who is one of the great turnover machines in the league.
Key word you just mentioned, Chris, was young. I mean, not only are they good, not only did they start the year with a ton of questions and made a lot of personnel changes, but they're young. Putting the fella right now on the ground, Graham. Let's see if we figure out what happened here. And whatever happened on that initial contact.
Yeah, sometimes you'd be amazed at how many injuries happen in this league without contact. You know, just being off balance and taking a weird step, and
sure,
it just happens all the time. Good-looking young player.
Well, they've already missed Bradley. He got hurt in the 1st half, so you got Samuel not playing tonight. Bradley gets taken out of the game. Now you lose Graham. Eagles showing plenty of depth.
But the one thing about it, the Eagles are going to get at least one extra day over the Minnesota Vikings as far as recovering for their injuries because of what happened with that Giants game.
Eagles going to the Meadowlands next Sunday to face the Giants. 3rd down and 8. What's coming from Kitna's left, and then that pass is incomplete into double coverage intended for Miles Austin. Patterson and Michael are right there, and it's 4th down.
Quentin Michael really did the job on that one. He fooled John Kitna. Right here is Quentin Michael, and he starts off in the middle of the field. They've got one of those double moves, got a little space maybe on Patterson, but Quentin Michael just fooled John Kitna, and that's not the first time that's happened tonight.
Meanwhile, on 4th and 8, they're going to go for it here, and why not? Down by 10. Why give the ball back to that Philadelphia offense? They need to convert. And Kitna escapes. Can he get the 1st down? Yes, he can. And out of bounds he goes right in front of Jerry Jones, who says, way to go. 10 yards, 1st down.
Mike Vick would have been proud of this one. There was plenty of heat coming from everywhere. Unfortunately, they all got to the same depth that Kitna did, and once he stepped up, there was nobody there. You could see in the middle of the field that time, Ernie Sims tried to lock on his man in coverage and just ended up going the wrong way and couldn't catch Kitna.
So on 4th and 8, they convert. 1st down. From the 39-yard line, the fake to Choice, and then they get it back to him on a pass inside the 30, and Choice gets the ball to the 21. Another 1st down. He's tackled by Sims.
Well, they're trying to run that where they're going to run the middle backer out of the middle of the field, Jamar Chaney there. And so Kitten at that time was not fooled at all. End up coming with this guy running right down the middle of the field. So you just basically drop it to your back where he left, and you're going to have some running lanes.
From the 22, out of the gun on first down. Over the middle, open, Witten on his feet, touchdown Dallas. 22 yards, Nate Allen couldn't make the tackle. Romo paces the sideline. And we're a point away, an extra point away from a 3-point game. Kitten with a 10-yard run on 4th and 8. And Beeler's extra point is good. There's a flag.
There's no foul for leverage. The point's good.
So with 4:22 remaining in the fourth quarter, 30-27, and back to the touchdown we go. 22 yards to the tight end.
Now you're going to see right here the Tampa 2 coverage again. He's going to turn and face the side of Miles Austin in the slot. But in this team, Jason Witten is really the more dangerous threat down the middle on the other side. So every time that Jamar Chaney has turned to face towards Miles Austin, they're simply going back door to Jason Witten and hitting some big plays.
Jason Witten with 2 touchdowns tonight and 6 this season.
Well, what a huge play by John Kitten on 4th down, huh? That little scramble run, not bad for a 38-year-old guy.
Yep. And you had to go for it at that point, even though you had the timeouts and the 2-minute warning. You just can't give the ball back to Vic in a 10-point game late in the fourth quarter.
Eagles, Cowboys, here we go again. Kind of fun.
30-27. Each team with a couple of turnovers. Philly looking ahead with 2 timeouts, and the Cowboys have all 3. Jura Calvin to run it back. Beeler's kick. Calvin's going to run around for a while and then take the touchback. And now you've got a flag. You had Calvin. There was a punch thrown. We had Allen Ball down there with Calvin.
After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness. Receiving team number 38. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
All that was going to be let go. There would have been no flag thrown, special teams guys, and then Calvin made the huge mistake. It's one of those things that a rookie player has to understand, and what a big one it is, because now you back up this team to the 10-yard line. You want to be a little aggressive here offensively, but the field position is such you certainly don't want to lose the game at this point either.
At the 10, first down. Vic going left. That's caught. McCoy stays in bounds. The ball is up at the 26-yard line. It'll be second down.
Yeah, and a couple of things here. But certainly the fact that LaShawn McCoy was able to make that catch and stay in bounds is significant as the clock continues to run. Heads up play by him.
2nd and 4. Want to make one other point about this Calvin thing in a second, because he didn't know what the rule is. He's running around as if the clock will start, and he's trying to take time off the clock. 2nd and 4, but that's not the case. Here's McCoy up the middle. That'll be a first down. Just to make this clear, what Calvin's doing there is he thinks the clock will start when he receives the ball. The clock does not start on a run back until you come into the field of play. In other words, you're back out past the goal line. So he was thinking that he was going to save about 10 seconds for them. Instead, the clock didn't move at all, and he gets the penalty.
He did a double rookie.
Right. There he is. I mean, he knows the clock is supposed to start on the run back, but it doesn't start until you come out past the goal line. So he's trying to take time off the clock, but the clock's not moving. First down from the 28-yard line. Here's McCoy again with a big hole, and then he runs right through Newman to the 48-yard line.
Timeout, Dallas.
Dallas is compelled to use a timeout here. That's a 19-yard run, and it's 130 yards for McCoy on the ground tonight. 14 totes.
Watch that double team right there. Todd Harriman's had a great game tonight, along with Jason Peters. And now it's the Philadelphia Eagles who are starting to establish their running game. So LaShawn McCoy, who really has not been too involved, at least in the first half, has been a major factor in the second half.
McCoy's second year, drafted in the second round of the Pitt last year. Career high, young career for him, but 130 yards on the ground. 3 catches tonight for 4 yards.
Yeah, there in the second half, you get a look. It's going to be his 4th straight game now with over 120 yards of total offense. He's been the difference maker in the second half.
On the ground, McCoy to the 40-yard line, and the Dallas defense can't stop him. And that's going to force another Dallas timeout, their second. Sunday throw for those kids playing here.
You know, this has really been the story of the Dallas Cowboys season, though. A season ago, they allowed the second fewest points in the league, only to the Jets. Now, the second most points in the league, only Arizona is behind them. So defensively, for whatever reason this year, it has just fallen apart.
From the 40. This time they give it to Jerome Harrison. And now Dallas will take its third and final timeout, and then the clock will stop once more at the 2-minute warning. Remaining schedules for these teams next week, of course, is the big one for both the Giants and the Eagles. Meeting at the Meadowlands. Remember, the Eagles won their first meeting on Sunday night 3 weeks ago. And then they close at home with Minnesota and Dallas coming into Philly. Giants, meanwhile, against Minnesota tomorrow in Detroit. Philly in the Meadowlands, and then at Green Bay, tough one. Or maybe not. We'll see about Rodgers, and then at Washington the last week of the season.
Well,
for the Giants.
if you had to pick one, you'd rather have the Eagles schedule than the Giants schedule, but they've got to come out of here with this one, and then it gives them a little breathing room.
Second down and 10, and Dallas cannot stop the clock again. They fake it to McCoy, and Vic's going to run it. And Vic will get taken down at the 31-yard line and stays inbounds to boot, and that'll keep the clock rolling to the 2-minute warning.
Yeah, once again, this has just been a very intelligent drive by the Philadelphia Eagles, getting as much as you can. We saw LaShawn McCoy do it earlier in the season. I think Mike Vick got a few strawberries on this one. Mike Vick's going to get everything he can, try to pick up that first down, but make sure he gets down before he hits that white stripe.
And that takes us to the 2-minute warning. It'll be 3rd down and 1 for the Eagles when we come back. 30-27 Eagles. Really a good matchup next week. Wendy's post-game report coming up from here right after the game. Chris and I, among other things, will look ahead to next week's game and wondering about Aaron Rodgers. Packers lose today to Detroit, lose Rodgers to a concussion, but get a break when New England annihilates Chicago. Keep that race close in the north.
Sure, Patriots fans are hoping it snows. The Patriots may be the best snow team I've ever seen. Well, here we go. This is it. And really would not be surprised at all if Andy Reid, even if he did not make it here, goes for it again.
First down here effectively ends the game. And there it is. And there is McCoy. And there's an irony here with McCoy getting the first down. The Eagles, known as a passing team, and of course Andy Reid through all of the years, a pass first guy on the West Coast and all of that. And tonight on this drive, it's been all about doing it on the ground.
Todd Harriman's going to get game ball from me tonight. He has just been the guy that has been moving people. He's been on the double teams, and believe me, LaShawn McCoy knows where Jason Peters and Todd Harriman's are. He starts right, cut back all the way. Andy Reid said, let's go behind the hot guy. Todd Harriman with a great game tonight.
Don't forget, also scored a touchdown along the way.
There you go. He have his own game ball.
As Dennis Miller would say, you can't keep him down forever. So the Eagles will go to 9-4, 2-2 in the division. Giants playing tomorrow night in Detroit against Minnesota. That should be 3-1 actually. Make that change there. Get that eraser out.
Well, this offensive line erased a lot of problems tonight. They really, we came in and I was talking about the Cowboys offensive line and dominating the line of scrimmage. Wasn't the case. It was the Eagles offensive line getting it done tonight, and it was not all the flash. It was the big dogs up front who won this one.
A couple of big plays by Jackson, the 60-yarder in the opening drive, the 91-yard touchdown reception. Jason Garrett now 3-2 as the interim coach of the Cowboys. Joe DeCamillis, who was with Mike Vick when they were both in Atlanta together under Dan Reeves when Vick started his career. Vick tonight 16 out of 26 for 270. McCoy with a big night on the ground, 149. Jackson 210 yards receiving. And the Eagles are in prime position.
Everybody
post-game report, right? Post-game report. Wendy's coming up after this from your local NBC station.